I am very excited about today's lesson, and that's because loan officer assistance, this is a strategy that you can implement in 1 week that's going to fast track your training. It is going to set a foundation for your new role as a loan officer assistant, and this works if you have never been a loan officer assistant before, or if you're experienced and you're starting a new position or with a new loan officer. But before we dive in, if we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Tressa Pope. I have been a mortgage professional for over 25 years, and I help loan officers 10x their sales by teaching their assistant everything else. All right, so our lesson today is I'm going to walk you through the key players interviews. So we're going to do key players interviews, and that is going to help you fast track your training. Here are some of the benefits of this strategy. All right. So you're going to gain insider knowledge quickly because you are interacting with those key players, which is going to help you develop strong relationships right off the bat and learn those insider things either from about the company or your loan officer's team. This is also going to give you a bird's eye view of the entire process. You'll be talking with key players from different departments, whether they be inside the company or outside the company. And this is going to help you not only identify the process, but identify roadblocks, bottlenecks, challenges that you can have a part in helping to improve. You're also going to learn those acronyms, jargon, key practices that may be only unique to your loan officer or only unique to your company or to your office. So interviewing with those key players is going to, like I said, fast track your training. It's also going to help you become a valuable asset to your loan officer much quicker because you're hitting the ground running that first week and getting to know those key players. So let's talk about those key players. It could be a loan processor that your loan officer works with all the time. They may have a dedicated loan processor, or if they don't have a loan processor, they may have a loan processing manager. They may have someone that's in charge of loan processors or an operations manager. They may work with the same underwriter all the time or underwriting manager. And then, so look at the people that they interact with on a regular basis that are within their team or within their company. And then also look at people that are outside the company that they work with on a regular basis. That could be insurance agents, settlement agents like escrow companies or attorneys. It could be, who else am I missing here? It could be like a credit repair company that they work with all the time. So get that list from your loan officer of the 6 to 10 key players that they work with on a regular basis. Just don't collect the real estate agent names right now. We're going to do that in a future lesson. Once you have that key players list, those 6 to 10 people, you are going to contact them to schedule the 15-minute interviews. So please be courteous, respectful of people's time. Make sure that you reach out to them and say, hey, I really need, if you could carve out 15 minutes so I can interview you about your role. I want to learn more about what it is that you do and how my role is going to support what you do so that the loan officer's business is going smoothly, is working smoothly, right? So you're going to schedule those meetings. You want to give them advance notice. Hey, this is what we're going to cover. I want to learn about what you do. I want to learn about any challenges that you're having, how you interact with the loan officer or our team, and what I can do to make the process more smoothly. So those are mainly the things that you're going to cover. You want to prepare those questions in advance. You can even send those questions to them in advance. That way you're really maximizing the opportunity to grab those 15 minutes from them. Take detailed notes. If they recommend any resources, so they may recommend a webinar or a checklist or some kind of resource portal that their company has, take advantage of that. And then show gratitude. Make sure you're following up with an individual email or card to the person that you had the interview with. Yes. If you want a list of suggested interview questions for different types of roles, we do have that in our school community, so you can head over there and get that list. Let's talk about how you're going to organize your notes. So when you take notes at your 15-minute interview with that key player, you want to make sure you store those somewhere that you can reference if there's something that you need to remember. So you can use a digital tool like Notion, Trello, or Evernote. Make sure you have that organized so that you know how to find that information, either by process. So one of the party planning steps, if you haven't seen that video, you're going to designate certain times during the loan process where you might need that note or reference. Or you can organize them by role. So whatever helps you in terms of locating that information in the future. So organize that. If you have an idea about checklists that you should create, go ahead and start with a draft of that checklist. Or if someone gave you a checklist, be sure to store that somewhere and modify it as you need to for your particular role. Once you've met with all of the key players and you've organized all of your notes, then you'll set up time with your loan officer to share what you learned, share your findings, and especially share where there's roadblocks, challenges, bottlenecks, and any ideas that you already have of how to process, improve that, or find out from the loan officer their perspective. So the last interview that you actually do is with your loan officer after you've interview these key players. In fact, a really good loan officer assistant is going to have an interview with their loan officer before the key player interviews, and then another one after the key player interviews. And this just gives you, like I said, that foundation so that you have a bird's eye view of how everything works, and you can really start to proactively work on anticipating any problems and solving challenges within the process. Okay, let's summarize all of this. You're taking this proactive approach by taking that first week to interview key players. You will quickly become a strong asset for your loan officer by developing those relationships early on. You'll have an understanding of the whole process, where it's running correctly, where it's running smoothly, and maybe where it's a little bit bumpy. And by having that foundational knowledge, that's going to help you fast track your success in your new role. Remember, in the mortgage industry, knowledge is power. So you always want to be in this constant state of learning and process improvement. And speaking of process improvement, like I said, always be in a state of learning. But this initial key players interview is going to set the stage. It's going to really give you that foundation so that you're always in that state of learning, and you've now developed relationships with these people and resources where they understand, hey, this is someone that wants to do better. And yes, I will carve out 10 to 20 minutes to speak with them about how we can do things better. So, because you're going to be respectful of people's time, if you have more to cover with them after the 15 minutes, don't make that meeting too long. Just ask them if you can have a follow-up meeting either in the coming weeks or next month and say, hey, I have a lot more questions, a lot more ground to cover with you. Can we have another meeting and get that on the calendar? Take advantage of any resources that they send your way. That could be webinars, workshops, free trainings. Subscribe to any industry newsletters. So your loan officer may belong to some, or you may find some on your own. They could be newsletters, they could be blog posts, they could be podcasts, anything that's going to keep you up to date on industry news. And that's because things change all the time, and you want to make sure that you're being at the forefront of that. And then participate in any online groups. Facebook, Reddit, or our school community are great places where you can engage with other people and learn from people that are doing the same job that you are doing. All right, I will see you in our school community. Please let me know how your 1 week of key player interviews go. I'm so excited to hear from you on how those went. If you have any questions or you need help in preparing for the interviews, jump over to our school community where you can get those suggested interview questions And I look forward to hearing from you. Take care.